Who doesn't love a little bit of crinkle, right? Hi friends, Tracy here from the Sewing Channel. Do I have a fun one for you today? Got a sew and sell or donate project. Today's video is all about making those fidget quilts geared toward the Alzheimer and dementia patient. It's a sad thing to think about. In that sadness, let's add some joy with these fidget quilts. I'm gonna give you a ton of ideas today and show you how I made these fidget quilts. Enough talking already. Let's get right into it. You can see here in my research that there are a ton of these fidget quilts for sale out there on Amazon and eBay and Etsy and all over. Now, these aren't just for Alzheimer and dementia patients either. A lot of times, children or adults with ADHD can also benefit from a fidget quilt. What I do want to share with you here on the screen is when I checked eBay, there's a spot on there where you can go and check to see what has sold in the product that you're looking up. I do believe that selling these at farm markets and places like that will absolutely help the loved ones of the dementia or Alzheimer patient give something to that person that they love that they can actually use. Let's talk about this fidget quilt right here for just a second. I was contacted by a young woman whose grandmother has dementia. She asked me about these fidget quilts, and I had never made one before, but I told her I was on the case. So of course, I went a little overboard because it was my first time and I didn't want to leave anything out. But if you're selling these at flea markets and farm markets and such like that, I think these right here in this size are the best to sell. You can totally make these quick. Since this one was a custom fidget quilt right here, I kind of had an idea of how fidgety that particular person was. They have a thing with Velcro. So that's what I added to this fidget quilt right here was some Velcro. You can tailor make these to the fidget that person really likes. Stay to the end and I'm going to show you everything on this fidget quilt. If you put words on your fidget quilt, I think it will stretch the brain to actually try and read those. That's what a fidget quilt is for. It's for those people who can't sit still and who need to be focused, constantly be doing something to keep their mind moving. Words are awesome. Let me give you a few really good tips when you are constructing your fidget quilt. On all of the different fabrics that you're putting together, you need to make sure that you use a fusible interfacing on the back of all of those fabrics. It just makes things stronger. Think about it. Someone is going to be pulling and tugging on these items that are on this fidget quilt. We need to make sure that all the fabric is reinforced with a fusible backing. In my case, I had a bunch of this stretchable tricot fusible interfacing. Tricot, tricot, whatever it is, I had it. So I used it. And it just has one side fusible where it fuses to the fabric. Perfect. Who doesn't love a little bit of crinkle, right? Don't buy it. Go into your pantry and pull out your cereal boxes, cracker boxes. Take that see-through plasticky stuff that's around your crackers off. Make sure you wash it and dry it real good. That's what this is right here. It makes the perfect crinkle. I used a Minky Dot backing, but if you're going to sell these, I suggest that you use a flannel backing. It's a lot more affordable than a Minky. Make sure that you have some type of batting. I use cotton batting in both of these behind me. This right here is approximately 19.5 by 22 inches finished. We're going to construct this more like a quilt as you go fidget quilt. Some things we may piece together and then put on just because it makes sense, but you'll see as we go. The first thing, lay out your batting a little bit bigger in size than what you want your end result quilt to be. Then you need to figure out how you want to lay your items out and what you're going to have in your fidget quilt. Are you going to have buttons? Are you going to have ribbon and rickrack and all that? You need to think through all that. So I have a zipper pouch here that I made. When you open this zipper pouch, the person will find the rest of the zipper tape right here that I cut off from there, and it's been sewn down here in the seam allowance. We'll also find some real good fidgety buttons on a piece of elastic. They can pull on it and tug and it's not going to come out. Which leads me to the other thing I wanted to tell you, which is reinforce, reinforce, reinforce everything. This block right here, I guess we'll call it, it has 4 different elastics on it with it all weaved into a ribbon that I have sewn across there so that each one goes through it. These ones I crisscrossed and then I attached them on the edges there. And then I added in the crinkle effect. Just added some rainbow rickrack and to where they can hold that as well. And you can see here everything has been reinforced with that tricot. So we'll lay that one there. The little buzzing bees. I love this one. I had some of this pre-made chenille right here in strips and I just cut some off and I haven't roughed them up yet. If you rough them up with a brush, it says that it'll be nice and fuzzy, but it may take time, I guess, because I don't know, it's not fuzzy yet, but maybe over time once it gets washed. And then I did add a little soft noise maker right there. I did pre-cut the borders for this, but I wanted to show you first this before I added in any of the borders because we're going to put this together. I'm going to take these off, set them aside, and I'm going to quilt as I go by putting right sides together here. So what you would do is pin this and then sew. I sewed them just like I would quilt as you go, and then I reinforced this right away with the top stitch. Since this is going to be hard to do quilt as you go this way, by adding to the top here, add these 3 pieces together first. Now it's time to make sure that all this is out of the way here, and then we're going to quilt as you go again. Make sure all this is out of the way and put those right sides together. After you've laid everything out and you've sewed them on like quilt as you go, you've put on your borders and you've added in any sweet little thing that you wanted to along the way, rickrack or ribbons and such, then you're going to trim your quilt. Lay your flannel right side up and then take your quilt top and lay that right side down. You need to make sure that everything is laying as flat as it possibly can. This is where things might get a little crazy. Be sure to make a mark for your opening. We don't want to sew in about a 5-inch space or so. That is where we are going to turn our project right side out. And sew 1/4 inch all the way around. Now trim off all of the excess. Once it's all trimmed up, turn it right side out. Make sure you roll out all of the seams so that everything is nicely pressed to all of the edges. Then you're going to just tuck in this spot that you had open that you turned your quilt in, and then you're going to put a nice top stitch around the entire quilt. After you've top stitched around the entire fidget quilt, you're going to then go through with your sewing machine and put a bunch of straight stitches wherever you see a straight line, and you're going to encase everything in straight lines. That will help keep all of the fidget quilt down so that when they do go to pull on things, things won't come apart. After you've reinforced with a lot of straight line stitching so that everything stays on there really good, then it's time to have a little bit of fun if you want. Do some free motion quilting designs in the border area. Even within the areas themselves, just do some simple meandering. This one right here, I did some real pretty roses all down the side. Okay, as promised, let's take a look at this fidget quilt. You're gonna love it. On this custom fidget quilt, I made 3 sections. This one right here is the travel section. First off, you have the map right here, and I did some black rickrack, and I followed it through with some black thread to camouflage that so they can just run their fingers right over that. This pouch right here, this little corner section, is super soft. And inside, they can fidget and pull out these pieces of yarn that are actually sewn in really good. They'll be able to pull on them and tug and nothing should let loose. On this side, I went through and just angled that elastic and put some fidget buttons on. I already showed you this right here, but I'll show you again. This Velcro is awesome. and I just put some tabs at the end of these long strips. Here's some scripture right here, and then this really soft yarn to follow their finger along. And then I did encase it in this really cute license plate fabric. I had this flannel with these really cute cactuses with boots on. I had this right here, this ribbon with the boots, and so I thought that was really cute, and I just tacked it down there so they can put their hands in and lift and just fiddle with it. Here I added some nice stretch. They can pull on that. It's just jersey knit, and they can, yeah, snap them, whatever they like. And then this right here is a really soft ribbon, and when you lift it up, there's a cactus with a mustache. Super cute. This one, I took the crinkle and I laid it all out straight along with this fabric. I kind of zigzagged the folds so that each little fold had a neat thing in it. Here's some rope and some black rickrack that they won't be able to get out. That might be a little maddening for some. Here I just put some pink soft silky. You can tuck it back in there. This one was just some pretty embellishment that I had with a ribbon that said, "Oh my darling, what if you could fly?" You know, something to grab at and whatnot. Here's my animal block right here. Of course, it has the scripture. I had this fat quarter with all these really cute kittens on it, and I thought, how comforting is a kitten, right? I did take one and outline it in that really soft, fuzzy yarn I had. I do know that this person did sew at one time, so I took an old metal bobbin and put it through the rick-rack so that they could, you know, touch it and play with that. Here is leftover end of the zip tie here. Here's a noisemaker, another noisemaker, and then on the zip I just put some of that really soft yarn. And when you open this up, there's some bees in there, some bee fabric, and then again I have this right here. I did reinforce this down here several times, and even within here I really wanted to make sure that this did not let loose. Here I went with a nautical theme on this block. I love this block. The person that I'm making this for absolutely loves lighthouses, so I made sure to have that in here. This is just some gold elastic that they can pull on for stretch. Here's just a little ribbon, some rickrack hanging there. This is really cute. It's really soft polka dot ribbon that you can just kind of go back and forth on. This isn't a noisemaker here, but it's just something for them to grab. Here's a tab right here with a curly Q ring holder on it. The nautical button, and I just took this flap right here and made it like it was a pocket or something, but it's really not one, but I thought that would be nice for practicing buttons maybe. This right here is my all-time favorite. This, I had this real skinny elastic and I made it look like fisherman's net almost. I even free motion quilted these little waves in there to give it a little bit of texture. They can pull on this, they can put their hands in it and just pull and, you know, and tug. It's just gonna be really fun, I think. I attached a little zipper case here because this person is going to be traveling a lot. I thought it would be fun to put some encouraging things that I got at Christmas time in some of those Christmas boxes, just some encouraging little cards that I put in there. And then I put in here a guardian angel. And so that is that. And, you know, if they don't want that on, they can take that off when they wash it and whatnot. Let me show you the back. Did you know that I have a full playlist jam-packed with a bunch of sew and sell videos in it? It's on your screen right now. Click it, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Until next time on the Sewing Channel, take care.